This is April 3rd edition of Back Roads of Illinois. I am your host, Cesar Delgado, for today. The show is on Jared White from Brownfield Ag Network and your news for the agricultural industry in central Illinois and across the Midwest. This is your agricultural news. High path flu to continue in the state of Texas. CDC has issued by the warning to the dairy producers and the farmers beware of the virus. I mentioned that the state of Minnesota goat reported to have a high path flu. Traders are disappointed with the markets and commodity prices for corn and beans. The planting season is around the corner and the cattle markets are trading down because of the bird flu. Start of April and a happy beef month for the ranchers in rural America. This weird time to be a farmer and ranchers about the cattle and grains. Oh, well, we could hang on to the commodity markets. I am joining with Jared White from Brownfield Ag Network. We are back with Jared White. We are back with Jared White from Brownfield Ag Network from Central Illinois.
Hi, Caesar. Thank you for having me on the show today. I appreciate it.
How are you today?
Doing great, thanks. It's been a busy week, lots of things happening, but I'm glad to take some time out and chat with you about some of the things happening in agriculture. How are you doing? Good to hear.
Let's start with our conversation about the bird flu in Texas and Kansas. What is your sources for this situation in those states? Jared.
Well, it's that's one of the great things about being a part of the Brownfield Ag Network team is the fact that we have some great coverage on that ongoing situation. But I myself have not really had any kind of reports on the situation there. But some of our team members have been talking with state veterinarians, USDA, CDC, really keeping abreast as to what exactly is happening, not only there, but also some of the outbreaks going on in Ohio and Michigan and some of the things happening there. So it's really a kind of a developing situation. But like I say, I personally don't have a lot of sources, but I know our team in those states and in those areas is definitely keeping an eye on the situation. I can say that I've been talking with folks here in Illinois, and in Illinois, everything is good at the moment. They're monitoring the situation, no outbreak or no detections at the moment, and just wanting to remind, especially dairy cattle producers, just to keep an eye on where you're shipping cattle, and things along those lines. But again, here in the state, everything seems to be going according to plan at this point. Knock on wood.
Yes, it is pretty crazy about the virus.
Absolutely, but it just demonstrates how good technology is in agriculture to where we can identify things like dairy cattle production dropping, milk production dropping, and that identifies that there's something wrong with the cow, and it's all done computerized, and it's just another aspect of technology in agriculture, keeping everybody safe.
What are your sources for the acreage report on last Thursday morning? Could you tell our listeners about this topic as a reporter?
The prospective plantings report. I had a conversation this morning with Joe Jansen at the University of Illinois, agricultural economist, to talk a little bit more in depth about the report. We saw a lot of acres lost in that report. He doesn't believe we'll see those acres come back, just looking at some of the trends and research when we've seen that kind of a situation in the past. And we saw a little bit of a bump up in corn prices from the report. We've kind of given that back here over the last couple of days, but there's hope that with the acreage numbers being down, that there won't be any catastrophic major increases to corn stocks by the end of the year. But of course, a lot's to be said and done between now and then. And I think the June acreage report will probably tell us a lot more than the prospective plantings report does.
How do you see in central Illinois near Champaign and Decatur for this planting season?
I think a lot of guys are chomping at the bit if they haven't gotten going already. I know there's a couple of folks that have some soybeans in the ground in the area, but not widespread planting yet. It's still been too cold. And I think, with the snow flying here as we talk on April the 3rd, there's a lot of folks that are glad they don't have seed in the ground. But I think once we hit a weather break here, maybe talking with Eric Snodgrass with Nutrient Ag Solutions, climatologist there, he thinks that weather break is going to come about middle of the month. And I think if we get to tax day, April 15th, that it's going to be pretty much guns a-blazing. Everybody's going because we're past the replant dates on the calendar. And once we get the dried out from this latest round of cool weather, I think it's going to be all systems go.
I'm ready for this planting season as well on the beans.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot more beans going in the ground first ahead of corn this year. That seems to be the continuing trend. We've seen it kind of change over the last 5 years. It used to be corn first all the time, but now you're seeing more and more guys realize that they can get some added bushels potentially by planting soybeans first, and soybeans seem to handle the cool temperatures a little bit better than the corn seed does when it's in the ground. So I think that's another trend we're going to see just continue to grow, at least from the conversations that I'm having.
Jared White is joining us for today from Brownfield Ag Network. So, Jared, could you tell us about the livestock expansion in central Illinois?
I think we've seen a little bit of livestock gains in central Illinois. I don't know. It's going to be hard to talk guys out of farming corn and soybeans on some of the best ground in the world. So, but I think the livestock industry is well here in the States. You're seeing a few feedlots pop up here and there, and of course, there's a very healthy cow calf established community here in the central part of the state. But I really think that calving season has gone well from the producers I've talked with. Not a lot of snow and really not even a lot of mud to deal with. So as that continues on, I think cattle producers have to be happy as we talk here in April of 2024.
Do you have final thoughts about these issues in agricultural news?
I would just say it's an interesting time to be an ag reporter. There is no shortage of things going on, whether it be, planting season out in the field or policy decisions or lack thereof in Washington and everything in between. It's always interesting. It's something new every day. And Cesar, I appreciate you taking the time out and asking me to be on your show. And best of luck with the program. Thank you very much, sir.
I agree. Thanks for coming, Jared. This is Jared White from Brownfield Ag Network. We're back with our last segment on back roads of Illinois. Thanks to Jared White from Brownfield Ag Network. We were seeing on the cattle and grains. What a hard time for the agricultural industry. We could be just working hard with our farms and ranches. I encourage you to sign up for the United Soybean Board. They have a good investment for our soybean farmers. Meanwhile, Congress are trying to reach a deal on the spending bill for national security and immigration issues as well. Otherwise, we are watching for the farm bill for next couple months with the election year. Perhaps since 2013 with a new approach to CPR to the Senator Debbie Stabenow from Michigan. Well, folks, there's our show on back roads of Illinois. See you tomorrow. For Back Roads of Illinois, this is Cesar Delgado. Have a good day.